All right, today we are diving deep into a horror story, but we're not just going to talk about it. We're going to peek behind the curtain, see how it's actually built, piece by terrifying piece. It all kicks off with that perfect, classic horror setup. You've got this old, creepy house with a dark past, a long list of people who've gone missing, and then there's you, about to set foot on the property. You can practically feel that cold spot already, can't you? Because here's the twist. This whole spooky experience, it's not from a book. It's not a movie. It's a game called The House on Blackwood Hill, one you play with your friends, a table, and some dice. And that's the real mystery we're cracking today, isn't it? How can a rule book, just a bunch of mechanics and numbers, actually create genuine suspense, that feeling of discovery, and yeah, even real horror? Let's break it down. So, our story begins right where you'd expect, at the entrance. The person running the game, who's called the Game Wizard, starts painting a picture for the players, who are about to become investigators. Right off the bat, your first choice has nothing to do with monsters. It's about thinking on your feet. How do you get inside? The front door is a no-go, totally sealed. But around back? Well, it looks like someone's already pried a few boards loose. Right away, you're making choices. And the second you're in, you face your first real threat. It's not some ghost floating through the walls. It's something way more real, a starving dog growling from the corner. So what do? Try to fight it? Maybe try to calm it down? Or just sneak by? This is where that tension really builds, and it needs an answer. And that's exactly where the storytelling pauses for a second, and the rules take over. To figure out what happens next, the game uses this core system it calls its universal engine. Let's see how this thing actually works. Now, this is where it gets really cool. The game doesn't just describe the dog, it gives it numbers. It's a little bit agile, so it's quick. It only has 2 health, so it's not very tough. And look at that willful stat, -3. This dog is not brave. It's probably more scared of you than you are of it. These stats are the key to figuring out how to deal with it. So, how do you see what happens? It all comes down to a really simple mechanic. It doesn't matter if you're trying to soothe the dog, fight it, or tiptoe past it. The outcome is all about a roll of the dice. You roll 1 6-sided die, add any bonuses your character has, and try to hit a target number. It's a clean, simple way to handle pretty much anything you can think of. Okay, so the dice decide what happens. But those bonuses you add to the roll, the skills you have, that all comes down to the character you're playing as. And this is where the real creativity comes in for you, the player. The game gives you a whole framework to build your own investigator. Just for this explainer, let's take a look at one of the characters they give you ready-made, a psychic medium who goes by Madame Cherie. You can see a character's whole personality at a glance here. Madame Cherie is super intuitive and charismatic. That +3 to intuitive, that means she's going to be amazing at sensing things that are not quite of this world. But check out the negative numbers. She is not strong or hardy. She's not built to punch her way out of a problem. Her stats are already telling you how to play her. And it goes deeper than just stats. Characters get these special traits, too. Madame Cherie has 6th sense and gut feelings, which will give her an edge on those spooky intuition checks. And soothing voice? Well, that sounds like the perfect tool for dealing with that scared dog back in the kitchen, doesn't it? So really, your character is just your personal toolbox. It's the set of skills and numbers you use to tackle whatever the Game Wizard throws at you. Now that we've got our hero and we know the rules, let's head back into that house. Okay, so armed with our psychic investigator, we're ready to take on challenges that need a little more finesse than just brute strength. The game starts to move from simple obstacles to much more interesting puzzles. As the players push deeper into the manor, they find this parlor that's been turned into some kind of ritual chamber. And right in the middle, 2 big, imposing bronze statues. You just know they're part of a puzzle. The inscriptions on them are pretty cryptic. The first statue, who looks like Zeus, is asking, "What do you offer?" And the second one, Prometheus kneeling, asks, "What do I offer?" This is not something you solve with a die roll. You've got to use your brain. And the answer is hidden in mythology. Zeus, the king of the gods, would demand a sacrifice, so blood. Prometheus, the one who gave fire to humans, offers that gift back, fire. Once the players figure this out and make the offerings, a secret passage opens. It's a perfect example of how you have to actually think and interact with the world, not just fight things. So the players are solving puzzles, getting past obstacles, but is this all just leading to one single scripted ending? Or is there something more interesting going on here?
And this, right here, is the magic of it. The ending is not set in stone. Not at all. As you can see, the finale is completely up to the player's choices. You can just run away screaming, you can go and desecrate the evil temple, or you can deal with the source of the curse in a couple of different ways. Every one of these actions leads to a different outcome, proving that your choices really do shape the story.
So let's zoom out a little bit. We've just walked through how one very specific story, The House on Blackwood Hill, is built from characters, rules, and, most importantly, player choices. But the rules we've been looking at are part of something much bigger, the Apogee Universal RPG Engine. And that word universal is key. This whole system is designed to be a super flexible foundation for pretty much any kind of story you can think of. The haunted house is really just the beginning. It's a demonstration. You could take this exact same engine and use it to run a space opera, a classic fantasy adventure, or a gritty detective story. It's a framework for telling stories together. And that really gets to the heart of what a system like this is all about. It's not about just experiencing a pre-written story, it's about creating your own. It gives you the engine, the tools, the dice, and then it leaves you with just one question. What story are you going to tell?